All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol GSAT, Globalstar Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And as we dive into this chart, I do want every single investor and viewer to be aware that I have a ticker symbol towards the end of this video that you won't want to miss. You definitely want to add it to your watch list and keep it on your radar moving forward. So stay tuned till the end because we've talked about it already twice in the last 2 weeks, and it's already almost 2x since we first talked about it. All right, so here we are. GSAT, Globalstar Inc. What a run, right? As this was kind of consolidating or moving sideways, and it bounced from 196 to like 221, right? Within the last couple of hours. Now, what is our support? What is the 50-day moving average? And what's our resistance? So here we are. 141 is the 50-day moving average. So this is going to catch up pretty fast to the price, right? Wherever it's at, if the bulls don't continue to pull upwards. I want every single investor to be aware of that. We want to look at some supports here to kind of have some midway points between the support and the 50-day moving average to kind of dissect this chart as much as we can. So why is this running right now? Well, it's running because of the 5G sector, the news on their chips, and so forth. Now, their market cap is pretty small, and their price per share is pretty small. So there's potential here for this to grow significantly, and it's been running since January. So this isn't like new news. I think that their microchips have had a big deal already, and they've been talked about before. Things got kind of quiet. And here there's some confirmation or some type of innovation that they've just created. So if anybody wants to comment that down below, you're more than welcome to. I haven't had the time to dig deep into this company, but I am here to do a stock chart analysis to make every single investor aware of these cues to watch carefully. But there's a lot of potential here if some of the things that I've overseen, kind of looked briefly and skimmed through. There's some opportunity here. So I look forward to everyone's comments down below, giving us more information, all the viewers and investors on this company. And if you have any links to any articles, I'd highly appreciate that as well. So what is our support? Currently, it is at this point 187. If that gets broken through, this could be on its way down to newer lows. And the midway point that I would use for every single investor to pay close attention to is 173. Or you can use down here at this point 161. So it depends on how far out you want to look at it or let it move. But you definitely want to dissect the chart within that area to watch how it's reacting between 187 and those two support levels, either or. These are optional as well to kind of see if the bulls are trying to bring this back up or are the bears getting closer to the 50-day moving average as they break through these numbers, okay? So I want every single investor to be aware of that. But the first support level is 187. Now, the resistance level, which is where it got rejected and went sideways, and now it's running right back up to those numbers, which is going to be very important for the bulls to break through tomorrow, is 225. Why is it important for them to break through tomorrow? Well, by breaking through 225, they can continue this bullish run, pull further away from the 50-day moving average, and work their way up to newer highs. So I do want to emphasize, the bulls need to break through 225 to reach newer resistance levels and work their way up deeper into bullish territory. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watch this video. Stay tuned till the end because the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys, you won't want to miss, and you definitely want to have it on your watch list. So for everyone that has stayed to this point in the video, the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys is a reiteration of the previous stock graphs and also where the stock was and where it's at now. So I think this is the second time I talk about this one in less than a month, and I really want every single investor and viewer to be aware of this one, especially the new coming investors and subscribers. I don't want you guys to miss this one. And for every single subscriber that missed it in the previous videos, if you're having the chance to watch it now, I really want you guys to be aware of this company and do your due diligence and do your research and further digging to understand this ticker symbol and the potential moving forward. So the ticker symbol is CLNE, right? So let's go ahead and pick it up here. Let's see if it pops up. Clean Energy Fuels Corporation. Now, in less than a month, it has actually risen, right? From about $10 all the way up to highs here of almost $19. That's almost 100% gain. But let's just go ahead and say it from $10, right? Forget about the $10.45. We talked about it before that. We talked about it right here at $10.998. So $10 to $18.70, that's 87% gain. Okay? And there's so much more room still for this stock. This stock has been growing exponentially over time. I know that when you look at it, you're like, oh, well, there's going to be a point where this is going to drop. Well, we went through one of the massive drops right here after it took off where I was talking about it. This was the first time I went ahead and mentioned it, January 22nd. And I said, okay, we might see it cool off and go a little bit lower. We want to look for some consolidation, and then it can start to hit newer highs. Well, it took off after that, soon after, and it hit 12, came back down to 10, and a lot of investors already saw 12, and they said, okay, 12 is possible. So now we need to get to 12, and we need to break through 12. Well, that certainly happened. It brought itself right back up, slightly above it, brought itself back down to 12, and now it took off to 18. So the question is, could this go ahead and consolidate up here? Could we see this pull back somewhere in the middle of this? That's totally possible and healthy for the way the chart has been acting to this point. I want every single investor to be aware of all these consolidation periods and runs up. These are very healthy signs of a growing stock, okay? So it's clearly showing that. Now you have to do your due diligence and research, because now we're talking about it again at its highest point. We've talked about it at one of its highest points here when it was at 10, and it had recently hit 12, 11 and some change. So it was still showing signs that there could be some room, and analysis ratings were also looking pretty good. So now we've hit new highs. So analysis ratings need to be reiterated and upgraded. And then we also need to see for consolidation or a pullback, but obviously not coming back down to 12, somewhere in the middle. And if it does come back to 12, may it consolidate in 12, and then from there on out, hit newer highs and new resistance levels for this stock to continue this exponential growth. But the potential here going into the year and the coming years is phenomenal, and there's so much room here for this to continue. But from January 22nd till now, 87% growth is pretty phenomenal and interesting to me. So I wanted to go ahead and ask those of you that have found out about this since the first time I talked about it to this point, how have you felt about the graph? Did you add this to your watch list? Have you kept it on your radar? Did you add it to your watch list but disregarded it? All right. I want to ask these questions to you guys. All the viewers coming across this for the first time, I would encourage you to go ahead and do your due diligence and research. And just by looking at the graph, how does it make you feel? Do you see that this can continue to run? Do you see a pullback and consolidation? But the way it's been acting, do you think that this can repeat itself, right? But onto newer highs, like beyond this. So like if we were able to copy and paste this, but starting off at 18, can you see this type of distance and growth getting attached here beyond the next coming months and also year? So I wanted to ask that question to you guys, because that's what you really need to think about when you look at a graph, right? What is it acting like before? And could it repeat that same process moving forward to newer highs and new resistance levels? Obviously, the volatility of the stock market is always going to exist. There's been up and downs throughout this whole process. But if it can continue doing that behavior, there's room here for this to continue to probably 2x from where it is now, because we've almost 2x from where we talked about it in just weeks, and it's actually gone ahead in 9x, right? Almost 10x from way down here, these lows in November. So very interesting stuff. I wanted to ask that to all you guys that are watching, every single investor and viewer. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.